I think I've done a lot of growing when it comes to the issue of homosexuality. At one point, I will say I probably did have a hatred for homosexuals, and a hatred for that lifestyle. And that's largely because the extreme delusion that most homosexuals are under, I just found it very frustrating. Very frustrating. But as I get older, it's like, I understand, yes, gays are under a mass delusion, the delusion that their lifestyle is normal, the delusion that their lifestyle is acceptable or that it's right, because that's certainly a delusion. It's not the right lifestyle. I had to realize, it's not just the gays that are under this massive delusion. Most Kamala Harris supporters are under the same delusion. Most women are under a mass delusion. Most white women, most black women in America, in a modern day context, pretty fucked up group of people, if we're going to be honest. Okay, now I'm not one of those passport bros. I'm going to go to Mexico or some third world country to find a bitch. No, it's not that serious. But homosexuality is one of those conditions where you just hope that that person lives long enough to see the truth and accept the truth and get out of that lifestyle. Now, again, like I said, I used to hate gays. Now it's no longer a hatred. I kind of feel sorry for them, and I yearn for the homosexual to wake up from their delusion. This brings us to the man that you're looking at on the screen. Of course, this is famed Judge Mathis. I actually used to have a lot of respect for Judge Mathis. Not so much anymore. Not so much anymore. Judge Mathis recently did something to his son that I think was just absolutely, totally unacceptable. Let's take a look at what Judge Mathis did with his son. Can we find the article? Here's the article right here. It's from Essence Magazine. It says Judge Greg Mathis officiates his son's intimate wedding ceremony in Mexico. And you would think, hey, what's wrong with that, woke progressive? What's wrong with his son getting married and him officiating the wedding? Isn't it a beautiful thing that a father is officiating the wedding ceremony of his son? You would think so. But let's look at the details. Greg Mathis married his longtime love, Elliot Cooper. Elliot Cooper. So let's see if we can find some. This is him and his man. Judge Mathis officiated the wedding with him and his men. Look at this, man. Here we have two young black men, two strong black men that in all reality need to be with another black woman, but they want to date and marry on each other. This is the delusion that we currently fall under. And, it's very sad, seeing somebody like Judge Mathis fall for this delusion, because what it tells me is that he was a I'm not going to say a poor father, probably somewhat of a poor father. You have to question what was going on. I don't have to question whether he was a poor father. He is a poor father because, sometimes you can raise your kids in the right way and they just fall astray, and you just have to hope that one day they'll fall back on the knowledge that you engraved in them when they were kids. But, on the flip side of that, if you're not instilling in your kids good values, hey, stay away from homosexuality, stay away from lesbianism, stay away from feminism, stay away from gangs, stay away from violence. And it seems as though, he did teach his kids to stay away from gangs, but he failed miserably when it came to this. This is why our community fails. This is why the black community fails. Because, we have fathers that fall under this left-wing delusion that it's okay for their sons to grow up gay. It's okay to officiate the gay wedding of your son. This is what liberalism has done. 50 years ago, hell, 30 years ago, in the black community, it would have been absolutely unfathomable for a black father to officiate the gay wedding of his son. Absolutely unfathomable. Because back then, we had some We had some essence of decency. We understood it's woefully indecent, hopefully indecent for a father to officiate the wedding or something. This is embarrassing. This would have been embarrassing at one point. But because Judge Mathis gave in to the powers that be, his liberal Democratic overlords, it's Democrats that goaded him into doing this. Because of that, they this is what we have happening. This is what he finds acceptable because his Democratic overlords told him it was acceptable. And a lot of you say, oh, well, there's nothing wrong with homosexuality. What's the problem with homosexuality? Well, let's take a look, okay? I'm sure we all know that the STD rates among gays are much higher than the rest of the population. But did you know that the discrepancy was this bad? Let's look at some of the discrepancies. Okay. Compared to other groups, gay and bisexual men have early syphilis rates that are, look at this, 554 times higher than females. Okay, they get a syphilis at a rate 500 times more than women. Look at this. They get a syphilis. They have an early syphilis rate, infection rate, that's 248 times higher than other males, almost 250 times more likely to contract something like syphilis. 46% of homosexuals had rectal infections. That means they had half of gays right now have infections in their booty hole. I'm not making this up. This is not gay bashing. This is just true. Let's look at this. 43% had throat infections. 56% had urethral infections. All right, let's look at some more of this. Gay and bisexual men who have HIV have early syphilis rates that are 11 times higher than gay and bisexual men without HIV. So, I mean, these are just some of the numbers. If you want to take a screenshot of this, I highly advise you to do so. Why do you think this is? Well, and I've said this for years. This isn't my first time saying this. Nature's way of giving its stamp of disapproval on the homosexual lifestyle is the rampant STD rates in that community. The gay community has the highest rates of STDs, as we saw, a 500 times a multiple. I didn't even know that was possible. That means it's almost exclusively the gays spreading around STDs. But that's nature's stamp of disapproval upon that lifestyle. Even if we were to take STDs out of the equation, LGBT relationships also have the highest incident rates of domestic violence. Have you ever seen two lesbians together? Fight. They fuck, they fight, they fuck, they fight, they fuck. That's all they do. Fuck, fight. Okay, that's it. It's not right. And like I said, we don't hate homosexuals on this channel, but I'd be remiss if I were to not tell you the truth about their lifestyle. This is the first time in human history, at least in Western civilization, that we've accepted such lifestyle. Historically, even in African civilization, society has woefully rejected homosexuality without question. Okay, without any qualms, we have woefully rejected homosexuality. Why? Because we understand the spiritual consequences behind it. We understand the social consequences behind it. And we don't want to face that. We understood well before, even though HIV wasn't a thing 100 years ago, we understood that by accepting a lifestyle that God disapproves of, we send our country to hell. We destroy our country. We make ourselves a little bit worse off by accepting things like this. But now because of liberalism, because of Democrats, because of people like Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, the left-wingers, we have black fathers, sending their sons off with their husbands. Is this the kind of black community you want? It's certainly not the community I want. Like I said, we don't hate the homosexuals, but I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you the truth about that lifestyle, about what goes on in that lifestyle. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments, and remember to like, subscribe, share, and as always, stay woke.